Yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could speak to that when the time comes?
Well, it was a citizen that brought it up at the meeting. I do, I know.
Okay, before we call this meeting to order, is there anybody that's going to be recording, please? Okay, Steve, Mark, anyone else? Okay, first order of business, tomb restoration grant, Paul and Alan. We're going to discuss this right now. We're going to have,
Are we supposed to pledge allegiance first?
We don't have a flag.
there's no flag. It's
It's not one in the corner?
No, there isn't. If there was, I would have brought it in.
yes.
First of all, I'd like to take and thank you very much for realizing that you needed a larger venue. But I am going to take task with one of your selectmen because of the fact that she made comments in the paper which, the first time I excused.
You're out of order. You're out of order.
You
You're-
ended up
you're-
recognizing me, and I have a right to take and speak for 3 minutes.
You have to stick to the agenda, please. Okay, so please sit down. Alan and Paul, please come up. Okay, we got the grant tomb restoration contract. You want to briefly give us the specifics? I understand you need us to approve it and for the chairman to sign, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Can we speak up a little louder? We're paying good money for this place. You can't-
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize, Mr. Miller.
That's for you.
That mic, yeah, that's for you.
Oh, the tall one over there.
As you know, we went out to bid for the tomb restoration work on the tombs. We ended up getting 5 bids. And after review of the bids with the Tomb Restoration Committee, our engineer that's on the project, and myself as LPC, we are recommending that you award the contract to the low bidder, Historic Gravestone Services, BC Monuments LLC. They're out of New Salem, Mass. They have done work in the past for us, so we are aware of how well they do their work. They are more than qualified. They were recommended by the engineer as the most qualified, and we feel that they should get the bid due to the fact that they are low bid and most qualified.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Here a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
And yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll make arrangements to sign.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Does that have to be signed just by the,
Yeah,
do we need to add that to it?
I said that. Okay, the next item on the agenda, discuss contract for temporary treasury services. First, I just want to read that the assistant treasurer, from the assistant treasurer, Sue Adams, with this letter, I just inform you that I'll be resigning from my position as assistant treasurer, Town of Templeton, on Friday, March 9th, 2012. I've been employed by the Town of Templeton for over 4 years. I feel that it is in my best interest to resign at this time. So tomorrow will be her last day. With that being said, I'm going to read a memo from the town accountant to handle his treasurer's position to the Board of Selectmen regards town treasury vacancy. I suggest the board adopt the following transition plan until such time as the town treasurer position is filled. Number 1, appoint Carol Lee Eaton as town collector as temporary town treasurer. Carol Lee is already bonded as a Massachusetts certified treasurer, as signatory on her tax collector's account already. Upon appointment by the board, Carol Lee can obtain check signature authority on Friday, and assume signatory control over all town accounts. Carol Lee has already agreed to doing this for the town. This will allow the town to sign payroll and vendor warrants for the next week and subsequent weeks till such time as a permanent treasurer is found. 2, in conjunction with the above, the town should engage the services of Gene Berg, Mass Certified through Strategic Accounting, to perform the day-to-day duties of Assistant Treasurer without signatory in order to reduce the administrative burden on Carol Lee Eaton. This plan will allow the town the proper amount of time to properly recruit, screen, interview, and hire a Massachusetts Certified Treasurer. I have worked with 5 different treasurers in the past 11 years and have made great strides in improving the financial operations of the town. I recommend the board take the necessary time to properly evaluate, consider certified candidates for this most vital position. I am confident the above transition plan will allow the board the required time to accomplish this. Respectfully submitted, Scott Sawyer, Town Accountant. So first point is to appoint Carol Lee Eaton, Town Collector, as temporary Town Treasurer, and also to make her a signatory so that should be able to assume the signatory control over all town accounts.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
I have a few questions about this town plan for transitioning with the town treasurer. Do you have enough money in the accounts? Do you have a contract for the interim town treasurer?
I believe she'll be just covering her own, the tax collector's duties, and she's volunteered to cover the treasurer's
All
business.
right, so Carol Lee will cover the treasurer's position, so she's not getting an increase in pay or,
No.
okay. And for the interim treasurer, the Gene Berg, do you have a contract?
Well, Julie, we're taking this number one for
All right,
us and
so you
Carol
want to
Lee,
comment on the next
and then we're
one?
gonna motion and discuss that. Okay, anyone else? Hearing none. Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, on the second one, in conjunction with the above, the town should engage services of Gene Berg, Mass Certified through Strategic Accounting, to perform the day-to-day duties of Assistant Treasurer without signatory in order to reduce the administrative burden on Carol
Excuse
Lee.
me, Bob, can you be more?
Oh, I'm sorry, I turned away to look at the paper.
All right. Well, can you hold
It's the
paper up there?
same, in order to reduce administrative burden on Carol Lee. So I'll accept the motion to that effect.
So moved.
Here, a second.
Second.
Thank you. Anybody on the board have discussion?
Yeah. How,
Yes, Chris.
originally, we were gonna hire them for 3 days a week. Is that still the plan?
12 hours.
Well,
12
Jeff.
hours.
12 hours?
12 hours per week is the plan.
Okay.
Also, to address the financial question, not contract, but finance in particular, there is a cap on these services of $4,950 in this fiscal year through June 30th.
yes, do it.
How many weeks of service at 12 hours per week or $4,950 valued?
I believe up to 6 weeks.
Okay, so you
Yes.
have up to 6 weeks.
That's why it's going to give us the flexibility, Julie, to possibly decide, depending on what the board decides to do here tonight, to repost the position.
All right, so you have 6 weeks to do a search.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? Hearing none. Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, discuss selection process for, discuss selection process for town treasurer and assistant treasurer. So we have to decide, next thing we have to decide is how we want to, what process we want to use to hire a permanent town treasurer. Do we want to put this out for another 2 weeks? And then decide on the, go in an executive session to choose the finalists and then do interviews and so forth? Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Yes.
I think we should put it out for a couple more weeks because we don't have anybody right now that's certified. And Scott wanted us to try to get somebody that was certified. So I think we ought to put it out for a couple more weeks before we do the rest of the process.
Okay. Anyone else on the board have any input? Does that sound reasonable for 2 weeks?
We don't have anybody. If we don't have anybody, then we should do that.
That would take it, if we got it out tomorrow, that would take us, I think, till 23rd of March. Yes.
Under the minimum requirements, under the job description for this particular position, special requirements, it says certification 2 years, within 2 years. So you can end up getting somebody that does not have the certification yet, but have a requirement of 2 years.
That's correct.
So, I mean, that to me opens it up a little bit, because you were just saying, she was just saying about certification. Person
Yes.
doesn't necessarily have to be certified,
Not-
as long as he meets some of the other minimum requirements.
Right. Yep. Yes.
That's correct. That is the way it's written. However, if we get somebody, if we are able in the next couple of weeks to get somebody that's already certified, then that process will just be easier for the
Right, but I
town.
mean, you shouldn't shut out somebody
No,
for the simple
that's
reason
not our
that you get a
intention.
bunch of candidates and nobody's certified.
That's not our
You take
intention.
your best candidate and get them certified.
Right, they'll be able to, rebid the job if they so choose. I saw Bob Mitchell first.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could let somebody independent kind of handle the screening and interview process with the treasurer. The way I see it, we had some issues already when you called for the resignation of the last treasurer.
Excuse me.
Excuse me?
That comment's out of order, Bob. Can you
And
say
then
it
you
again?
denied it. And then you denied it when we hired.
Bob, no more conversation on that, please.
And the other two on the board haven't
handle the truth?
They're not even, we haven't even certified the election yet. So why don't we just let an independent person, like the coordinator, go out there and find us an independent treasurer?
The coordinator will be involved. Dan, did you have a question?
Yes. I mean, to the issue of certification, gentleman stands correct. And in the past, the Templeton has not required certification from any previous candidate. Now, I did apply for this position, as you know. I believe I am qualified. I am not certified, but I believe I am qualified. And in the Chapter 41, Section 22 of Mass General Law, it says, vacancies existing under the supervision and control of the selectmen shall be filled in the manner of an original appointment. And the original appointment did not require certification. And now you're changing that.
No, why not?
At this point. My understanding is what I heard you say, you're looking for somebody who is already certified.
No, we're just looking to go out to pursue additional candidates.
Well, pardon me, but I did apply for the job. You have my resume, and so if I'm not qualified, then let me know why I'm not qualified.
That's what we're discussing, Dan, whether to do that or to put it out for another 2 weeks. We haven't made a motion or anything right now, we're just discussing this.
I'm not sure why you're discussing it if you have a qualified candidate.
Diana?
I'm sorry, Virginia, did I not hear you say that you wanted a certified candidate? Isn't that?
Yeah.
I said because of the requirement that after 2 years you have to get it.
But it takes 3 years to be certified. It takes 3 years to get the certification. You can't do it in 2.
I didn't write this.
I know.
This is a recommendation of the town accountant.
Well,
So we'll-
that makes it true.
What?
That obviously makes it true.
What?
He could have been mistaken.
Perhaps it was.
It takes 3 years.
So I see
Yes.
no better reason to give it.
Most other communities usually on a position such as this, which really has a big impact on the community, have a separate committee that pre-screens everything before it comes to the selectmen. And since someone had brought up a point where we have not certified 2 individuals here, we'll have to take and do that in May. I think that might be the best course of action right now.
Okay, thank you.
All votes taken by this board with Patrick and I are valid.
I'm
We-
talking about certification of the election,
We were-
not certification of you.
We were seated by the vote of the prior board. We were seated, which meant that we could act in the manner of any of the other selectmen.
Nobody's questioning that. Nobody's questioning that.
What is it?
I'm saying that we are going to take and end up have certification of the election later on. And it might be better to take and have a committee to do that prior, and you will end up getting the candidate, and you will be voting on them. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say you were not certified to sit there and vote.
Okay,
Well, that's what it sounded like to me.
did anyone on the board have a comment with how we want to proceed? Yes, ma'am.
Chair Ford, basically what you had Judge said and what I can hear and what the argument from the town is, you just basically said if you weren't certified, you weren't going to be looked at.
No,
No. Nobody said that.
no.
Nobody said that.
You implied that, and I just wanted to know if you wanted to clear that up, because if somebody's got more experience over a certification, then they should be qualified also. But that's how it had come off with the speaking. It should be fair, it should be fair value for the job.
If it sounded like that, I apologize. And I am not speaking for the whole board, I was just speaking for me. And my idea is that the more people you have to pick from, the better candidate you can get. And because we only have 5 candidates to look at right now, that makes it a very slim pickings.
But, like I said, in Scott's comment, it says, this plan will allow the town the proper amount of time to properly recruit, screen, interview, and hopefully hire a Massachusetts certified treasurer. Now, in the event we don't do that, then we probably will have to hire somebody that's fairly well qualified, and then give them time to get that certification. It's just a suggestion. I think I saw Julie first, and then you, sir.
I have 2 questions. The first is, the people who've already applied, do they have to reapply?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. My second question is, the amount of money that you have for the interim treasurer will last you 6 weeks. It's $825 per week for 12 hours, which comes out to $68.75 an hour. Okay?
Yeah.
What is this position posted at right now? What is the rate
For the treasurer?
for the treasurer? What is the salary range?
14, it begins at 14, something, 25 or 30, and goes up to $18 and something.
What's that?
The range for the treasurer, the range of salaries.
Yes, sir, you were next.
Why would you want to wait another 2 weeks if you already have 5 candidates with applications in? That doesn't really make any sense.
It's just a recommendation from the accountant, and that's why we're discussing it here tonight.
But as townspeople, you've already got 5 applications. It seems to me that, and you may not like what I have to say, but it looks to me like you're coming in the back door. And you're saying,
I don't,
You know, we have 5 people, but you know what, we're gonna give it 2 more weeks and we're gonna get our person and that's gonna be it. That's what it sounds like. That's the way you're coming across.
It's a choice whether to go with the candidates we got now or go out for another 2 weeks.
Well, how about if the floor makes a motion, we go with the people you have?
Oh, it's up to
It's up to the select.
It's up to the select board. Yes, in the back.
Just a quick question, why do we have job descriptions if we're not gonna follow them? On the job description, it doesn't say you have to be certified.
That's right.
It does not say you have to be certified.
right.
If you have an applicant that has the qualifications that are listed on the job description, I don't, you didn't ask for a certified person.
No.
So I'm just looking at a certified person, you're gonna actually pay that person more. If you can get a certified treasurer for $22, that's, or less than that, good luck. Because they get a lot more.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Jeff?
I have a couple of things, a couple of concerns. One, why a vendor is involved in our hiring process. Another point, I don't believe when resumes are submitted, if they're just in a pile submitted and they have not gone through a screening committee, I do not believe they are public records. So I do not think it's appropriate for a vendor to be looking through them. And I also believe that we have enough people, they either former treasurers, have been certified, have worked on the advisory board, either president or past, serve on the assessors. We have enough qualified people to do a screening process. The board could probably either ask for volunteers or consult people and ask them if they are interested in doing it, rather than this board. I just think if we take the politics out of it, we'd eliminate a lot of the questions that we're having. Because I really have a problem with a vendor, and that's all he is. He's a vendor. He's an outside consultant looking at resumes that have not been screened. And I don't mind taking advice, but I don't think he should be too close to the process, because I don't think it's ethically correct.
He just offered an opinion on this subject tonight, so we got 2 ways to go here. Either put it out to bid or go with the candidates we got.
Just as a point of interest here, on 2 occasions when we didn't have this meeting, you thought it was so important to take and end up addressing these. Why are we putting it off 2 weeks? If it was that important, for 2 times prior to this, it should be addressed as soon as possible.
The main thing was to get the temporary treasurer on board, because there's been no treasurer in the office for almost a month.
I understand that, but I'm talking about filling the position.
Well, we were looking to fill it temporarily to begin with, and then going from there through the hiring process for the permanent appointment. Doug?
I just think we should probably consider the financial situation the town is in. If we're going to pay a permanent person 14 to 18, perhaps 20, and we're paying this temporary person 68 an hour, it doesn't make a lot of financial sense for me to drag this out a lot longer. The sooner we can put permanent person and reduce that expense from $68 an hour to $18 an hour, the better off the town's going to be financially.
Okay, thank you. Sue?
Can I ask a question? Have all 5 of you reviewed all 5 applications? And I believe there's only 4 now, because I believe the treasurer from Orange didn't want to come to a town with as much controversy as her town.
I don't know that.
There were 6? Oh, okay, so there's 5 good applications out there. Have all 5 of you reviewed all 5 of them?
I can't speak for the rest of the board. I have.
So you're making a decision without even having discussed or making sure all 5 of you looked at them?
I looked at him.
And second of all, is anybody aware, yes, Scott wants a certified treasurer, I know this. Is everybody aware that our past treasurer, how much of the accounting work she was doing, how much above and beyond she was doing. I mean, is this why we're looking for a certified treasurer, somebody to come in there, and so that someone who won't, you know, with a good background, who, okay, has to go and get their certification, getting this right? In other words, is it easier for Scott to get somebody who's certified in there and put this person in there because there are no bumps, because he's only there 8 hours a week for $45,000 a year?
No, we're just trying to look at the best qualified candidate.
Well, if you have not looked at all of the applications, or if you don't know,
Well, I
I don't know
have.
what's the name of.
Nobody said that they didn't.
I
Dan,
just asked you if you all looked at it.
Right, we got 2 answers.
You guys are flopping
I
back
did.
and forth tonight.
Dan,
When the previous treasurer, Tanny, left, she gave her notice, she worked out a notice, published in the newspaper the process that the town has used since I've lived here. We published in the newspaper, looking for applicants, you got some applicants. You may not have gotten the applicants you wanted, I may be on the wrong side of the politics, but you got some applicants, and you had time to do that for tonight. You had time to pick from among those applicants. And I remind you again that Chapter 41, Section 22 says you must appoint in the manner of the original appointment.
when did we have time to pick through them? We had to cancel 2 meetings.
But she's been gone a month, you said.
Right. We only started looking at it 2 weeks ago, Jan, when we reorganized the board. So the process started long before that.
It's done.
I think we've, how's the board want to proceed? Yes.
Could I ask each board member if they reviewed the candidates? Mr. Mullins,
Yes, I have.
all of them?
I believe so. I just got this one in front of me now. They were just handing me this
You
one.
mean to believe so?
I haven't read this one yet, so no.
You haven't seen them all.
So you haven't seen
I
them?
just got it tonight.
Okay. Virginia?
Yes, I have.
You've done it?
Yes, I have. I have them right here.
I've seen them.
Jeff?
Yes, I have had them at home and I've looked them over.
Okay.
'Cause we would-
And as a board, you haven't gotten together to discuss them?
You can't do that outside of these
We
meetings.
can't. We had 2 meetings canceled because of the capacity issue.
This was supposed to come up on February 27th, and we couldn't have that meeting. And then it was going to come up past Monday, and we couldn't have that meeting. So no, we have not discussed it because we haven't been able to.
But can't you go to the office and review?
No.
them?
We can't
We
do
cannot
that. It's
be
against
meeting-
the open meeting.
we cannot
One-on-one?
meet together.
Can't be meeting one-on-one?
We can't make any decisions.
Well, one-on-one, but some of us have jobs.
True.
Okay.
But I mean, it's time for other
Where's the
meetings
board
during the
want us to-
week.
We've discussed this. Well, what are we going to make a motion?
My motion would be to
So convenient.
do interviews with these candidates, or do the process with what we have.
Anybody
And then
else?
if we don't have a qualified person there,
That's fine.
then we have to go on.
I'll make
And
that
then we're just
motion.
delaying the process, but that's what they want to do, that's how we'll do it.
Make that motion.
I'll make that motion. That we go through the... I'm going to make a motion
Thank you.
that we go through the qualified, the applications we have and interview from there. And then if we don't have somebody that we feel is qualified, then we're going to have to go out and delay the whole process by 2 weeks. But if that's what you want, that's what I'm motioning.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any board have any discussion?
He's getting it.
Somebody was in the back first. Somebody yes.
I just wanted to keep the interest of the people. I think that if you're going to make a motion on it, that maybe you should jump on this and take a look at the applications, because I'm sure out of the 5, there might be one that's qualified. Might not be certified, but qualified.
Well, there might be, but we have to post the executive session meeting to go through the candidates and then post the meeting to interview them in open session.
But we were waiting for tonight to do that, right?
No.
No,
The motion? No?
no, we were just looking for the process to follow.
Right.
Because the previous 2 meetings we had to adjourn them. That's why we're here tonight.
Okay, but after tonight, you'll be able to do that?
At
Yes.
some point,
Okay,
if we can continue the meetings like this.
okay.
Ruth?
Yes, I got a question. What makes you people qualified to make a judgment on this.
Well,
The same.
that's what we're charged with, to do the hiring and so forth, and that's what we're elected to do.
I didn't elect you to do it.
Majority of the people.
Somebody did.
Well, there's a lot of people in this town, you know.
Yes.
I could be one of them.
My understanding is that this is an open session which you can end up saying at one particular point, we would like to go in executive session, and you can discuss that this evening according to general laws.
We're not prepared to do that tonight.
Well, the open agenda, it's always subject to change.
The executive session has to be posted ahead of time.
We would have had to put on this that we possibly could go into executive session.
Well, then you should be able to take and do that Monday, since I see that you have an executive session.
Okay,
Is that correct?
excuse me, we're gonna take the vote now.
You didn't answer my question. I still was on the floor. You didn't answer my question. You have an executive session that you can end up doing that on Monday. Is that correct?
If we chose to do so.
If you chose to do so.
That's what the people want.
All right. Where?
Peter.
Pete?
Tomorrow noon for that.
What?
You got a meeting tomorrow noon, ain't you?
That was in case we didn't get through the meeting tonight.
Oh.
Sue?
Can I ask you a question? What was the cutoff date for when all these applications had to be in?
Oh, God.
You know, Jeff?
Was it 17?
So it was February 17th.
Wait a minute, I'm not positive. It was 2 weeks after that, right? It was Friday?
Yeah, she resigned the 8th of February.
And when did it go out for bid?
But it was the following Monday or thereabouts, which is 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, about the 13th.
Oh, Jeff thinks about the 13th.
The 13th. That's
When it went out.
Yeah.
It went out the 13th. How many days was it posted? How many days did people have to get their resumes?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Have 2 weeks, okay, so,
So they would do the night that we had our Board of Selectmen meeting on the 27th. That did not happen.
okay. So it was due the 27th, but yet Mr. Mullins just said he only got one of the applications just now. Was
I
it
didn't see this
tonight?
one until tonight.
It was in my packet, that one, so I've had it.
Packet that I had.
Okay, we got some other items here. We're gonna take the vote to go through the applicant, the duty interviews. Pat?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, Board of Health municipal waste contract. The Board of Health was able to get a reduction in the contract with Central Mass Disposal for $63.50. Is anybody from the Board of Health here? Is that the right figure, Rick? Rick? All right. Somebody want to make a motion to that effect to go with the Central Mass Disposal for $63.50?
Bob, what are you talking about, Bob? What's the 6360 and all that?
Straight here. They talked about it briefly. They talked about it briefly the other night.
Okay.
Does this include all of the town
Right there.
buildings? Right, but I don't see 69 Patriots Road on there.
That's, it's not in the contract. The company.
The landlord. The landlord.
Beverly, did you have a question?
Yeah, what, the contract, what does that cover?
Let's see, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, the 381 Ballinville Road, 39 Bridge Street, 135 Patriots Road, 2 School Street, 381 Ballinville Road, 33 South Road.
So all the municipal buildings?
Basically.
Except for our office, because that's by the land.
You want a copy of it, Deb?
No, that's okay.
Anything else? Yes, thank
The
you.
food pantry's not included in that list.
The food pantry on that list, Rick?
I believe they just use the fire station, don't they, Tom?
A lot of people use the fire station.
Right. Half the Baldwin does,
It's across the river.
through the woods. Right, no, I'm just saying, everybody
No,
goes across the street to the fire station.
no. There's a dumpster outside of the building. Why isn't it going to be attended to?
Why don't you ask Mr.
Rich, do you have any information on that?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Could you come up front, please? What was the question, Diana?
The food pantry is not on that list.
The food pantry's not on that list. Is there a reason for it?
Top of the
Is it just
head, I
an
don't know why. I
oversight?
thought we covered all the municipal buildings,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. It's food pantries on that. I'm sorry, we cover all the municipal buildings, and I don't know about the food pantry.
She said there's a dumpster there.
What have you been doing up until, who has it? What
Who has
contract?
your contract?
We've been transporting it over to the council in our car.
Yeah,
I
that's,
thought she just said there's a dumpster outside the building.
I thought there was a dumpster. I'm
There is a
sorry, I
waste
misspoke.
management, but I...
Can we,
Is that a separate contract?
yes.
So they have to transport it in their personal car
to where?
to Scout Hall.
In that case,
Can you call them and perhaps do?
no, that'd be changing the contract if we had an
That's a
additional
light
dumpster.
department building.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So
Maybe
that's-
they still own it?
Yes, they do.
Maybe we can have some conversation with them, Diana.
That'd be good.
That'd be all right?
Their responsibility, not
All
That'd
right.
be good.
You want the COA, you want the board to look into it, or the Board of Health?
Either way,
All right.
In the meantime, though.
Yes.
You need to move on that contract.
Yes, we're trying. We're trying. Dan?
Is there enough funds in this year's budget, FY12, to pay for this request?
This one?
Yes.
I believe so.
This is actually cheaper.
It reduced it by what? $6,500 a year.
I guess my question is, will it be paid for with FY12 funds or FY13 funds? Can you explain? The contract is up now in negotiating with...
You're gonna have to talk louder.
As we talked about at the budget meeting, the contract is up now, and we went out we had 5 different companies. We went out to most of the waste haulers in the area. 5 of them chose to bid on the contract, and the lowest one was for $6,350, and that reduces our current expenditure from about $12,000 to $6,350, so savings for the town. Or we have to move on this contract in order to get it. So that'll be from now till the end of this fiscal year, and then this is locked in for an additional 3 years. We'll be visiting this 3 years from now, approximately at this time. That help?
That answer it, Dan?
Well, it does, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but Mr. Ritter, we can't be spending money that have not been appropriated.
And my understanding is this money comes out of the existing line item in the Board of Health
And there's
budget
enough money in there?
for trash hauling.
And there's
The
enough money-
contract expires March 31st, and there was money appropriated at that rate for the balance of the year through June 30th.
Yes.
When you reduce the rate, which we're doing in this contract, we enable ourselves to spend actually less money and provide a small surplus on this fiscal year and lower the balance in the contract in the coming
I
fiscal
understand
year.
that. I guess my only question is, are there enough funds in this budget to pay for the request?
I have not checked. I
He
was
says-
thinking the Board of Health that there were...
The chairman said yes, Dan.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
How, how is this guy gonna do the same job so cheap?
It's a different company. It's a different company.
Different company?
That's what they came in with the proposal.
do
it that cheap, I know.
Can't do it, can you?
You can't.
You can?
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, let's...
Oh, okay, we made a motion, yeah.
Cheaper for the town to
No,
pick
we
it up.
I'll accept the motion.
I make a motion that we accept the bid of 6360, is it?
Yeah.
6360 for Central Mass Disposal, price guarantee for 3 years.
Do I hear a
Second.
second? Any discussion?
Just one note, that Central Mass Trash has been bought by Republic Services out of Phoenix, Arizona.
that was in today's paper, but all contracts are still valid.
Well, just so everybody knows, though.
Okay, hearing none, no further discussion. Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, last item on the agenda is action on selecting warrant articles. What I'd like to do, unless somebody has an issue with it, I'll read down the articles, and if somebody has an issue with any one of them, we'll put it on hold, and if there's no questions on the rest of them, we'll vote and then go back to those. Is that all right, the board? Yes.
Chairman, just a comment. These are draft. They have not been written in legalese or reviewed by town council. They are substantive, but the language is largely our own, and that's appropriate at this stage of the process. We just don't need commentary about the specific language. Please focus on the substance of the article.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go down the list here. Notwithstanding any general or special law or town bylaw to the contrary, all actions taken by the voters of the town of Templeton for the special town election held on February 6, 2012, and the vote taken by the town at the annual town meeting on May 15, 2012 to ratify that election are hereby ratified, validated, and confirmed, notwithstanding any defect or omission in the posting of or the calling of or conduct of said special town meeting. This act shall take effect upon passage. Okay, next one.
What's that mean?
That's going to ratify and confirm the
election.
election that we just had. Julie?
I vote yes.
My question is, on the agenda for the meeting on Monday, you have under new business ratification, discuss the proposed governor's bill for ratification of the special election.
Right.
Is that the same or is that different?
That's different, but if in case that, if we vote to do that way, Julie, in case this one's put on in case the governor doesn't sign it or whatever he does to it.
I thought the process was that it goes to town meeting for ratification, and then if it doesn't pass,
Well,
the
this,
selectmen.
my understanding is there's two ways you can go. That issue, that article, that discussion is on Monday's meeting, and then this one on the town meeting.
Right, so why are you doing both at the same time?
We're just putting this, because they have to be in the 12th, we don't know if the governor's gonna sign off on the other one, if we do submit it. We haven't taken that vote to submit it yet. We haven't got to that point. This is just holding the spot for this article in case we have to have it go to town meeting.
Right, my point is, why don't you go to town meeting first with the article that you just read? If it doesn't pass at town meeting floor, then the Board of Selectmen submit to the governor for his proposal to ratify the special election that took place on February 6th.
We want to get it done as soon as possible.
They were trying to get it done sooner. And they suggested that's the governor's bill would be the quickest.
Who's they? They suggested, who's they?
The town attorney.
The town attorney. Did everyone on the board have a discussion with the town attorney about this issue? Talk to the town attorney about this issue?
We got a memo from them.
All right, so they just generated a memo without any prompting?
No, we requested an opinion.
We just
They were asked
requested.
for a memo? Who asked for
Look,
a memo?
we're just discussing the article, we're not getting into that discussion right now.
Well,
I'll go to,
We'll speak, that's what your platform is.
yes, Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah, when I signed off on allowing election to go forward, even with the bad posting, it was because we were supposed to have a special town meeting as soon as possible after the election. This isn't as soon as possible. I would like to see the special town meeting because you didn't even listen to the people that discussed following the road. So maybe we could have a special town meeting, get the election ratified, and find out whether we should move forward with following the road. Because I don't see the support there.
Okay, thank you. Next article, to see if the town will vote to rescind Article 8 of the articles approved by the town of Templeton special town meeting of November 7th, 2011, which article created a fire department ambulance receipts reserved for appropriation account, where collected ambulance receipts for services are placed beginning with fiscal year 2013. Rescinding this vote will have ambulance receipts returned to the general fund of the town of Templeton.
All. I'd like to discuss
Yeah.
that.
All business of the annual town meeting except the election of such officers and the determination of such matters as are required by law to be elected at or determined by ballot shall be considered at an adjournment of such meeting to be held on the second Saturday thereafter at a time and place to be designated by the Board of Selectmen.
Can I get some clarification on that?
Chris has information.
If you may not have been there, but we had at a selectmen meeting several months ago, probably in September, October, we had, excuse me, we had a citizen who wanted us to put it on the special town meeting that we see if the town would want to do town meeting on Saturday instead of during the week. And we told him that special town meeting was not the appropriate place for that article, but the annual town meeting was. So we told him we would put it on the annual town meeting as a selectman's question.
So this is saying we're going to move...
This is asking if the town wants to move town meeting to Saturday instead of Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever. That's all it
It's
is.
a great idea, but this wording, and I certainly hope the attorneys will fix it, you cannot read this and understand that's its purpose. This, I mean...
The town of Templeton hereby takes by eminent domain for the completion of the Bonneville Road reconstruction project X amount of square feet of a parcel.
Hold on.
She's done. A parcel of land, identified book number, page owned by blank, in order to install and maintain a public sidewalk. The town of Templeton hereby takes by eminent domain for the completion of the Bonneville Road construction project X square feet for parcel of land identified as book number, page number, owned by blank, in order to install and maintain a public sidewalk. The town of Templeton hereby takes by eminent domain for the replacement of an improvement of a drainage head wall to support the roadway project X amount of square feet on a parcel of land identified as book number, page number, owned by blank, in order to improve and maintain said public improvement. Those last three in regards to getting the final easements to continue on with Baldwin Road project. Yeah. How many do we hold back?
Tom's question.
That was the only one? Do we want to make a motion to submit the rest of them forward? Go ahead with your question.
I just have a question on these last three. Is that the only three we'll have for this issue?
Yes, these are the only three town meeting articles required for the Baldwin Road project. And they are all very nominal number of square feet. I don't want to go into any specifics here, but they're very small, very small.
Sidewalks. Okay, somebody want to make a motion for those, all those articles except for the...
Except for number two.
Number two, the ambulance receipts.
What's the matter?
It's eminent domain, not imminent domain.
You are correct.
He said,
By eminent,
yeah,
not imminent.
Mr. Ritter said at the beginning, the articles would get worded correctly before they
Just
were...
a miss, I read it the way it was
Oh,
on the page.
I'll make a motion that we approve, send Articles 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
And yes. Okay, number two, to see if the town votes to rescind Article 8 for the articles approved by the the town of Templeton special town meeting, November 7th. Jeff, do you want to give a brief description why this was put on?
Yeah, simply put, the town currently faces, based on best financial data that we have right now, a rough $600,000 budget deficit for the year that starts July 1st, the coming fiscal year. If we enact and act upon the special town meeting article that you voted on November 7th, to wit, taking ambulance department revenues and putting them into a special fund, a capital fund for the exclusive use of the ambulance and fire department, we will not have those monies available to the general fund of the town for general operations. That is equivalent to $175,000 of expenditure out of the town general fund for fire operations, including ambulance operations, that will have to be funded on the appropriation. So our $600,000 deficit would, if you do not vote this article, go to $775,000, 600 plus 175. It will mean that the town will have to cut deeper all those other departments and operations and expenses and salaries and wages should you not enact this article. So it's merely a question of how and where the town wants to cut. Does it want to cut in fire by not letting them have this revenue, or in the town operations by letting the town not have this revenue and giving it to fire? That really is the question, the heart of the question.
All right. Who is first? Diana?
Diana.
Okay, Diana?
Jeff, I just need a little clarification here. Is that going to increase the possible 10% you said the other night?
It would.
Okay.
Jeff, would that be just like a one-time only, just for that fiscal year, or is that going to be an etched in stone kind of a thing that's going to be forever?
The meeting article that is currently law, it's part of bylaw in Templeton based on the special town meeting, will go into effect if you don't do this. If you do this, you rescind that, and this becomes law, and that goes away. So whichever way you go, it is etched in stone until the town votes again.
I know this was before your time, but it just seems to me, in my accounting background, that it seems like we've been robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, how...
Absolutely correct.
How do we get into that situation where we're taking, general fund money or stabilization? I'm having a hard time understanding that. Isn't what the accountant's supposed to be kind of guiding us and making sure we're not in the deep crap that we're in now? I mean, it's just so sad if we have to lay people off. I mean, that's just so upsetting.
I'll put it a different way. The ambulance department, out of the goodness of their heart, has been funding the town. They've simply said, no, that's our money, we want it. And if we did that, which you did at the last special town meeting, you did that, you now will have to cut the town deeper because you're recognizing the decision you made.
I see, hold on, Pete. Hold on, you be next. Pete, hold on. Doug, I saw you next.
I mean, I understand the financial situation, and I think this is possibly a good thing. The thing I have issue with is rescinding the article that was already voted. I mean, the reason the people voted in that article is because the fire department or ambulance department needs capital money, and every time they've asked for it, they never get it. So that was the purpose of passing that article, and that's what the people wanted because we passed the article. The fact that we're trying to rescind that now is the part that I have issue with. I think it would be much better if we presented an article, and if the fire department supported it, that we just raise and appropriate the money in their fund back to the general fund for this year to help satisfy the financial problem. The fact that we're trying to permanently take it away from them, even though just last year the people wanted them to have it, is the part that is the issue to me.
Yes, Pete?
That was originally set up years back, for the town, they were supposed to do that, and then the bunch before him, they took it away from them and just kept putting it in the general fund. That's the way it was supposed to be done before. You check the laws and rules of town back, way back. That money was supposed to go on to him, but they were taking it and putting it in general fund. Why did they want to take it away from him now? Every other town, Phillips and all, they have their own like that. This one here just take the back seat, the boy, all the hard work they do. We all let it drop dead, see who'll come pick us up then.
Thank you. Yes,
Somebody, thank you.
lady in the back, I'm sorry, I don't know your
All right,
name.
Sharon Boyd, why don't we sell 252 Baldwinville Road and then put that back into the general fund?
That's an option.
That's an option.
Tom?
All right, all right.
All right, basically, as far as this goes, at town meeting, we presented it, and the gentleman that spoke is definitely correct. We've been looking for money to try to start replacing equipment. As we all know, no one in town wants to see the tax rate go up on equipment. Our pieces of apparatus are expensive. We believe we found a way by putting this money into the account, which is why we presented it, is what the people were looking for, so that the tax rates aren't not going up for this equipment to be purchased. Yes, there are cuts that have to be made. I do believe every department would have to take part in cuts. Unfortunately, in a town, we seem to have hit rock bottom. Maybe it's time to stop digging the hole and stop it and start bouncing our way back up. Unfortunately, yeah, there are times that are tough to bite that bullet, and by next year, there should be, currently we're on pace this year, that's coming into the accounts to bring in $264,000. That's what we're on pace for. That money will be able to start being used, I believe, July 1.
No.
If not the following year.
Should be, yeah, I think.
So the money that you're actually, and I'm glad you understand what I'm saying, Virginia, because the money that we're bringing in next year isn't going to be used for a couple of years.
Right.
So by saying that the money that this article is bringing in and the money that this article is spending, that in turn isn't affecting what's coming up for a budget starting that we're voting on even this year. The FY13 budget, you're using the $248,000 we brought in last year, which is being certified for free cash. Currently next year, which will be FY14, you'll be using the $264,000 we're currently billing right now and bringing in. Come FY, I believe it's 15, you'll be using the money that we will no longer be giving to the town, which will be going into the ambulance revenue starting next year as far as to be used in the general fund. So basically, the town, they wanted it to go in, they wanted to see capital expenses go through without the tax rate going up. I mean, it's...
Excuse me, Tom, if that article stays the way it is, and you're saying it's not gonna go into the account till 2014, when's the first payment for the first piece of equipment if it were to pass?
If it's going in as this account is set up, then that would be going in. If it's going into any money that goes into the general fund, then has to be certified for free cash, I believe.
Yeah, but when is that, the first piece of apparatus?
That would be in October if it's going into this account.